Oh my goodness, she is so pretty. I will never look like that. She is so strong. I'll never be able to lift that much weight. Oh my gosh, she's such a fast runner. I probably won't ever get to that, but it's okay. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Hello and welcome to Living Wonderfully Created with me, Patrice. Go ahead, if you have not, go ahead and subscribe. I am dishing out weekly content and encouragement to help you live wonderfully created, such as this video. So let's get into it, all right? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about comparison. Whoo, that hurt. Even saying it, it hurts. So I'm a pretty confident person. I have been confident, I probably say just the majority of my life. I was raised by a very confident woman. My mother has such a level of confidence that sometimes I'm just like, whoa, she just blows me away. But she's always been confident as long as I've known her. And so that has rubbed off and influenced me and just the way that I handle myself and the way that I am. And so earlier in my life, my confidence kind of came off as arrogance. Not came off, I was arrogant. Let's just be real. And so that led to some nasty things and just not being just the best person I could be, but redeemed my confidence. God has used it. And it's been an awesome thing. But as confident as I am, I still fell into the comparison trap. Yes, I fell into the comparison trap. So I would fall into these cycles of I would get excited and pumped on a project and I'm like, yes, this is happening. I'm going to do it. And then nothing. I would get excited, start a project, go hard for it for like a couple of weeks, and then I would self-sabotage. I would begin to procrastinate, or I would begin to forget things, or eventually I just would stop doing it. And I would go into these cycles of starting and stopping for the last couple of years, honestly. And finally, a couple of weeks ago, I wrestled with God. Like, sometimes you ask God a question like, hey, God, why is this? And then you keep it moving. And I was doing that with me and my self-sabotage and me not finishing projects. And God was like, I was like, God, help me out here. Show me what's going on. And I sat and I wrestled with him. I was like, no, I am not letting go until you tell me what the problem is. What is the malfunction? And the word came comparison. And my goodness, comparison, it hurt. I was looking at people on social media and seeing how successful they were. And I subconsciously began to compare myself to them. And because some of these people that I was comparing myself had been in their craft for years, I wasn't living up to that expectation that I had put on myself from these other people that had been doing their craft a lot longer than me. I was comparing my chapter 1 with their chapter 10. And then in my head, I began to self-sabotage and stop doing things because, and what I was kind of thinking was, why? Why would I need to do that? And they're doing it so well. I could never do it like them. I could never do it at that level. So then I was just, again, self-sabotaging. So that realization really hurt. It really hurt. And so I share this with you because I want to encourage you. You may have been caught in the trap of comparison because, listen, real talk, it happens to everybody. It happens to all of us at some point. But my prayer is that you do not go as long as I have in that trap. And so much so to where as you self-sabotage yourself, that you are procrastinating, or you are eating things that you know you shouldn't be eating, or you're not getting up when you're supposed to, or you're not finishing deadlines. That is a problem. We are to operate in excellence. And when we don't, there is something hindering that. And I challenge you to seek God about that. When searching and talking to God about comparison, a scripture, I'm going to read a scripture to you. Scripture came up, which was Galatians 6:4. Here's the thing. Have you guys ever read the Bible and a scripture come out and you're like, where the scripture was at? Did you just write this? Is this new? Like Galatians 6:4 is that scripture for me right now. And it says, let everyone be devoted to fulfill the work God has given them to do with excellence. And their joy will be in doing what's right and being themselves, not in being affirmed by others. Every believer is ultimately responsible for his or her own conscience. Listen, I love that scripture so much. So then what I did was I wrote it on an index card. So I don't know if the camera would pick up this little index card, but I wrote an index card so I can post on my mirror, and it says, I will be devoted to fulfill the work God has given me to do with excellence. And my joy will be in doing what's right and being myself, and not in being affirmed by others. I am responsible for my own conscience. Listen, Galatians 6:4 basically says, stay in your own lane. My joy comes from doing what's right and what he's called me to do, and being myself. You are uniquely designed. You are God's masterpiece. There is no one else like you. There will never be anyone else like you. So while people may seem like they are just doing these great tasks, there are some people doing some great things. Let me not knock anybody. There are people doing great things, but so are you in your own right, in your own area, in your own lane. You are called to do a specific thing that only you can fulfill, a purpose that only you can fulfill, and we need you to fulfill that. So I want to pray with you that you break off the spirit of, break out of the trap of comparison, and walk fully and confidently and boldly into your dreams, your visions, and your goals and God's will. 3 things that help me with this. All right. I'm going to tell you the first thing is I stopped following certain people. I stopped following those people that I was comparing myself with. I stopped following those people that had these excellent chapter 10s. And that was safe for me. I limited my time on social media. I had to begin to cut it down. I could no longer spend hours or just these random moments of scrolling other people's lives. I had to stop. And don't get me wrong, I love social media. I love seeing pictures. I love seeing people's families and these games and the memes, and I love it, And then I got back to my why. Why am I doing this? What is the whole purpose? Like, what am I doing this for? And once you get back to that why, then it begins to help break you out of that comparison. It begins to break you out of that self-sabotage, because you begin to realize that it's not just about you. It's not about your success. Is just not for you. It's for God's glory, and to be able to minister to the people around you, to be able to minister to the people that you've been called to, right? So comparison can stop us from doing that. It can stop us from, it's almost blinded me into just thinking, you're not worthy, you're not going to be good, you're not like them, so don't do it. The devil is a lie. Listen, talking about us getting back to our will, I'm going to I'm going to read Galatians 1:10, which says, I'm obviously not trying to flatter you or water down my message to be popular with men, but my supreme passion is to please God. For if all I attempt to do is please people, I will not be a true servant of the Messiah. Get back to your why. Why are you doing this? Is it to please people or to please God? Listen, comparison can sneak in, and it can happen to everybody. And I want you to sit with God and ask him, have I gotten caught up in the trap of comparison? And if you have, take the steps that I was talking about. Talk with God about it, and let him, meditate on that Galatians 6:4. I'm telling you, that's a new scripture. But I pray that God helps you to see just your uniqueness and where you've been created, and how you can operate better in that. All right, listen, let's talk about it. Let's keep this conversation going, right? I pray that you are able to live out your life wonderfully created, and that you experience God's love in a new way. Hugs. What was that? That was good? Oh, sorry.